Well, hello everybody. This is Paul Hunter with Keller Williams Realty, and I'm with my friend Christy Hernandez.
Hello.
She's our lender here at the office, and what we would like today is to do two things. The first one is to explain to our realtor at the office the importance of having a lender and partnering with a lender, and also why it's important for us to stay up on that information. And Christy is a wealth of information. We should be using her as often as possible. So take it away.
So, why do I think it's important to get with a lender as quickly as possible? So, one, um, buyers and sellers don't realize that we're not hourly employees. We are commission-based employees, and so for what I don't think that buyers and sellers understand is you put a lot of time and effort into this, and we're not talking about dollars, but let's be totally honest. Our stuff doesn't come until the very end, till all the work is all done. So I believe the most important thing, or one of the great deal important things, is getting all the knowledge up front so that way you're spending your time wisely, knowing your why and so forth. In our business, it's always not always about money, but that is a driving force of it. So,
Sure.
but when it comes to money, let's also think about: are we looking for the right house for the buyer? Are we looking for, in the right tax area? What can they actually be qualified for? What is their expectation? And so I really feel for me to empower you as an agent is to give you knowledge about that buyer. So the buyer, I ask a three-part question. What matters the most when it comes to getting this home loan? Is it down payment? Is it closing costs? Is it monthly? And sometimes it's all three, and sometimes it's I want a certain payment. Well, how are we going to figure out those numbers to work that payment? So when I have that knowledge up front, I'm able to share with you, and then you're not out looking willy-nilly. You're actually looking for what the buyers can actually afford, because buyers will say, I want 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2, which is all great, but what is that going to cost dollar-wise? So I think that's very important for me to empower you as an agent so that you're out there looking for exactly what the buyer's needing. And also on the flip side of a seller, when the seller's looking to sell, it also helps them to know, okay, if I want to sell and I wish to consider contributing, or am I not going to contribute? How much is it? What is it going to cost me? How is that going to look? What can I offer a buyer to entice them to come look at my house? So does that help answer?
That helps a lot because it's really important to understand that the lender is one of the most important factors in the transaction. It will there are a number of things that the consumer doesn't really understand how the amount of the loan or the price point that they can search for, where it comes from. In other words, comes from not only the amount is how much you make, how much your credit score is, what the monthly payment might be, which is dictated by the principal plus the interest plus the insurance, which is changing daily practically, and it impacts your monthly payment. And so you may not be able to qualify for as much as you'd like just because the insurance went up.
True.
Or the tax rates. So all of these things come together, and the lender is the one who's going to help you figure that out to tell you exactly how that interplays to come up with a price that you can look for.
True. We try to navigate that for you. So when we're talking to buyers, so if I don't know where a buyer's looking at, okay, I typically use 3%. So what we'll do when it comes to the payment, so we got the principal and interest, the homeowner's insurance, and the taxes. And you're right, insurance, depending on certain areas, can be a great deal. I used to have a really good formula down pat, but now that's kind of all changed. And so I go with a higher number, and so I try to empower the buyers to understand that this is what your estimated monthly payment is going to be. Now, depending on where you're going, I typically use 3% when it comes to taxes. I'll give them the homestead exemption of 20%. I'll calculate the difference by the 30, the 3% tax rate, and then kind of say, this is an average of what the estimated payment can be based on where you're looking at. And that can go up or down. A lot of times buyers, they see the beautiful homes and they fall in love with it. And sometimes the numbers can be a little overwhelming. So we want to walk them through that and let them see it through the numbers eyes to say, okay, this is something I can actually work with.
Well, that's very important because it's very disheartening for everybody involved. For the lender and for the realtor, we'll be spinning our wheels and not spending the time where we should. And for the buyer and the seller to have that come crashing down because the just the disappointment of not being able to buy that house that they fell in love with. So it's really important to understand that before you start going out there and looking for homes. The other thing that I wanted to stress is for our agents is the importance of having a lender that you can partner with. There are three really things that you really should be taking advantage of. The first thing is that's the first part with the guidance of your client. They can guide your client through different programs because that's something we won't go into right now. But there are many different programs that can be helpful to your client. So talk to the lender. They can give your client a much better guidance and work in conjunction with them. Give them more confidence when they go out there and buy. The other thing is that they can give you a better or a stronger deal to offer the seller. In other words, the pre-approval, and a lot of times, if you can get your lender to talk to answer the phone to the listing agent or to the seller to find out exactly what they're getting into, so that the offer being presented by the buyer's agent is stronger because the lender has given confidence to the seller that they're actually able to close.
True.
And then it also gives you as a buyer's agent, it gives you the competitive edge in when we don't see a lot of competitive offers these days, but there's still a few. Mm-hmm. And if you're competing with somebody else, a lot of times the lender's strength or the pre-approval and that kind of confidence that the lender can bring to the deal will make things a whole lot easier and more advantageous for you as a buyer's agent. So what I would like to do is at the office we have every Tuesday we have before we have the broker open house. Christy will sit with you and talk to you all about what's going on the whole week with interest rates, different programs. So I urge you to come in, talk to Christy. She's always there. She's at the office, but she's always there, and she's also a wealth of information. So I would take advantage of that. A knowledgeable agent is a powerful agent.
Very much so.
And so I think it's important to be able to take advantage of all of these training and knowledge finding opportunities that you have at the office. So don't doubt it. Really come down, even if it's for the donuts and for the coffee. It will, or just the camaraderie. We just want to see you at the office and make sure that everybody can help each other if we have questions. It doesn't have to be just about mortgage lending. It could be also strategies for buyers, strategies for sellers, and it's definitely a good time for you to come in and just check in with us. So until next time, Christy and Paul.
Bye, guys.